Picture this. Two men, two stories, two destinies. One is born with everything. The other was born with nothing. Gojo Satoru, Toji Fushiguro. Two names that echo through a fictional world, yet carry truths more real than most of us are willing to admit. Gojo, the prodigy, the miracle child, the one who opened his eyes and found the universe kneeling before him. Blessed with power so vast it bent reality itself. People call it talent. But let's call it what it is, luck. Then there's Toji, the outcast, the ghost, the one discarded by his bloodline. No cursed energy, no natural gifts, no safety net. He wasn't handed power. He built it one scar at a time. People call him reckless. But let's call it what it is, calculated risk. And that right there is the brutal truth about life. Most people never want to face it. However, the world operates on two fundamental forces, luck and risk. This is not just about anime. This is a reflection of your life. My life. Everyone's life. You were born into a story already in motion. You didn't choose the country, the family, the century, or the conditions you arrived into. That was your Gojo moment, whatever that looked like for you. A blessing, or a curse, or something in between. The real question isn't whether you were lucky or unlucky. The real question is, what did you do with what you were given? Morgan Housel once said, "Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems." That's because we often ignore the hidden variables, the invisible luck and silent risk that shape every outcome. We celebrate the rich, the powerful, the successful. We idolize the Gojo Satorus of the world, those who seem to win without effort. But we overlook the lottery ticket they were handed at birth. And then we blame the failures. We look at the Tojis and say, "Try harder. Why aren't you winning yet?" But we don't see the weight they carry, the odds stacked like mountains before they even took their first step. This is the greatest illusion of modern life, the belief that we are in complete control. You might be disciplined, smart, talented, but you are not in control of every outcome. The Gojo in you might win today because of preparation, but also because of timing. The Toji in you might lose today despite your work, but not because you failed. Sometimes you do everything right and still get crushed. Sometimes you do everything wrong and still get lucky. That's life. That's the truth. But here's the catch. You don't get to pick whether luck or risk shows up. What you do get to choose is how you prepare for both. Toji Fushiguro had every reason to give up. No cursed energy. No clan protection. No future. But instead of complaining, he trained harder than anyone. Instead of begging for power, he sharpened his body into a weapon. Instead of waiting for validation, he became undeniable. This is the principle. You don't fight the odds. You maximize them. Can't control your genetics? Master your habits. Don't have rich parents? Build rare skills. No connections? Be so disciplined that they can't ignore you. Toji represents the truth most people run from. You can build something extraordinary even when you start from zero. Not because the world is fair, but because you stop waiting for it to be. Most people are stuck blaming their circumstances. You need to become the kind of person who builds around them. The difference between victims and victors isn't resources. It's resourcefulness. Toji didn't need magic to be dangerous. He didn't need approval to be great. He just needed a decision. To rise regardless. So what about you? What's stopping you? Is it your starting point, or your story about that starting point? Now let's talk about Gojo. It's easy to envy the one born powerful. But what most people don't see is the trap inside that power. When you're always the strongest, the smartest, the most admired, a voice begins to whisper in your head. You're special. You deserve this. You are untouchable. And that is the beginning of the decline. Because the moment you believe you're winning just because you're you, you stop preparing. You stop growing. You stop respecting the battlefield. Gojo's confidence made him careless. His power made him blind to the traps around him. He underestimated Toji. That's what happens when privilege breeds pride. This is not just anime. This is everyday life. The entrepreneur who made one lucky investment and thinks he's a genius. The influencer who went viral once and believes they're irreplaceable. The wealthy heir who thinks poor people just aren't trying hard enough. Gojo's trap is real. It lives in every person who was handed something and mistook it for achievement. If you've been lucky, recognize it. If you've been blessed, stay humble. Don't use your advantages to inflate your ego. Use them to create advantages for others. Because the only thing more powerful than luck is what you do with it. Here's the formula nobody teaches you in school. Act like you're unlucky even if you're not. Prepare like you're starting from nothing even if you have everything. Grind like Toji in the shadows. Strike like Gojo when the moment comes. This is how legends are made. Because if you only prepare for sunny days, you'll drown in the storm. And if you wait for perfect timing, you'll miss every chance life throws at you. Toji trained when nobody was watching. Gojo dominated when everyone was. Your job is to become both. Train relentlessly when nobody cares. Then, when opportunity knocks, hit it with everything you've built in silence. Most people think money, success, impact, it's all about numbers. But it's not. It's about psychology. The stories you tell yourself about failure, success, and possibility become the boundaries of your life. The most dangerous belief you can hold is that you're fully in control. Because that illusion leads to arrogance in good times and despair in bad ones. But when you understand luck and risk, you move differently. You stay calm when things go well. You stay resilient when things fall apart. Because you're not anchored to results. You're anchored to principles. You train when it's boring. You adapt when it's hard. You rise when it's unfair. There are people in this world who have everything and waste it. And there are people with nothing who build empires. The difference? Character. Toji built his from pain. Every failure, every scar, every betrayal turned into a lesson. He became the man who could face the strongest and walk away feared. That's the kind of strength life can't take from you. That's the kind of power you earn through relentless struggle. Don't run from your struggle. Use it. Let it forge you into something no comfort ever could. There will be days when nothing works. The deal falls through. The person leaves. The opportunity disappears. That's risk. That's life. What will you do then? Blame the world? Or will you do what Toji did? Silence the noise. Rebuild in the dark. Prepare again. When things fall apart, your response determines everything. Don't ask why it happened. Ask who you need to become now. You don't control where you started. You control how you finish. Gojo was born with everything. But his greatness came when he became a teacher, when he chose to create more value than he consumed. Toji was born with nothing. But his greatness came when he became a threat to the entire system, when he chose not to accept his fate. So what's your story? Are you blaming your past? Or building your future? You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a product of your responses. Luck and risk are real, but neither defines you. What defines you is the decision you make right now. To prepare when it's hard. To grind when it's dark. To rise when it's unfair. To lead when you could rest. To give when you could hoard. That's the path of the truly unstoppable. So what now? Now you choose. Will you become the one who folds when life turns cold? Or the one who gets colder, sharper, stronger? Will you waste your advantages? Or use them to light the way for others? Will you curse your disadvantages? Or turn them into the very reason you win? Because in the end, it's not about being Gojo or Toji. It's about becoming the version of yourself that survives both luck and risk. That's power. That's wealth. That's wisdom. Build it.